Hello and welcome to another How to Code Well web chat. Today I'm going to talk about the chat I had with Powerslacker, a fellow YouTuber and web developer from the States. Now he asked me a bunch of questions such as my background and how I started out with web development, the courses that I went through, as well as the becoming freelance, my inspiration for that. So do check out that video. It was pretty fun recording it. There was a lot of footage that we had to break down, and a lot of giggling and so forth. It was a very fun experience to do. I can't wait to continue the series. We also talked about the questions that I would ask my former self when I started web development, and some lessons there to be learned and stuff. So do check out his video. I'll put a link in the description below, as well as on the top of this video. Now, we talked about certain things that I plan to do in order to keep my skill set running, and one thing that I mentioned was conferences. And I said that I've got a couple of conferences running, but I didn't actually mention what they were. So I'm actually going to PHP Serbia next week. So that's spanning over the weekend, which is really great. It's going to be packed full of really interesting speakers. After that, I'm going to PHP South Coast, which is in Portsmouth here in the UK, which I'm really looking forward to as well. Now, a lot of people think, oh, you're going on a conference, so that's a jolly, right? You're going to have some nice rest and relaxation and probably some nice food. Well, maybe the food, but to be honest, it's not R&R for me, because I'm there to learn, I'm there to talk to people and network, which is something that is crucial as a freelancer. You need to expand your network and so forth. And I'm going to be coming back from that buzzing, because the talks are going to be centered around unit testing, performance, scalability, continuous integration, and all sorts of other related web development stuff in the PHP domain. So I'm going to be wanting to try stuff out when I get back. I'm going to be wanting to read articles on these things in more depth. So I don't see this as a relaxing time. Yes, there's going to be travel. There's going to be a train and a plane and so forth, and cars and blah blah blah. But when I'm there, when I'm traveling, I'm probably going to be working, whether it's going to be on a laptop or whether it's going to be taking notes. So I don't think that I'm going to be able to turn the volume down in terms of like how much work I think about or do. So I'm probably going to need a holiday after it, but I know that I'm not going to be able to. So yeah, it's exciting. I'm buzzing. I'm starting to get really excited for it. It's kind of like the build up to Christmas, when you were a kid, you're starting to get the decorations done and all that stuff. Well, I'm starting to think about packing and all of that bits and pieces as well. Now, I might do a video, or I might I'm thinking about doing a video at least when I'm there. I don't know if I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to have time, to be honest, nor do I have the equipment at the moment to take with me. So, or if I do take the stuff that I've got, it's going to be pretty pants. But we'll see. I would love to come up with some sort of solution, but I'll certainly talk about those things when I'm back. Now, a good point with the whole networking thing with conferences is that when you're a remote developer, especially when you're doing it remote, right, or when you're talking to people in different countries, or just in different offices, and you're talking to them over Slack, you're talking to them over Skype or whatever, you are pretty much talking about the project you're on, right? You don't normally, or you don't always talk about, I mean, you might have the usual how's your weekend kind of thing, but this is actually going out to see developers, actually going out to meet them in person, shake their hands. It's a very physical thing. It's a very sort of emotional thing, attachment, and we often forget to do that when we're developing, because we often just think about the project, concentrate on the project that we're on, and we don't often talk about their life. We don't often talk about their experience, what work they did before this project, and all sorts of stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to a little bit of human interaction, a little bit of community spirit within the PHP community. So yeah, I'm really chuffed, and I will talk about this when I'm back. So talking now a little bit more about the interview that we did. Powerslacker is in the States, I am in the UK, so there was about, I think, 10 hours difference. So It was kind of a couple of late nights and so forth, but I really enjoyed it. I was quite nervous to begin with, but then I kind of feel that it just sort of like flowed together. It was just pretty much like talking to someone at a pub, right? It was just talking to another developer about development experience, which is such a nice thing that a lot of us remote freelancers probably don't do often because they're so busy with their work. So we plan actually to do a series of these chats in the coming future, and hopefully I'll be able to talk to him about and ask him about his background, his experience, how he became a web developer and so forth, and his goals and aspirations. So do subscribe to pick those up when they happen. Also to get the latest web chats as well as the tutorials that I do each week. Thanks again for watching. Happy coding, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers.